Hello, it's the governor. How you guys doing? I was asked to give a response to the Ferguson March, and we support those that are in Ferguson that are speaking out about the sanctity of life of human citizens and how that should be respected by law enforcement. Now, I don't want to get into splitting hairs because that's not what we're here for. Green thought is about love, learning, and communication for everyone. And it just seems like the situation in Ferguson are just for some Americans. All Americans should have their life rights respected. And that's the thing. It's so much easier to point at other people and say that other people are the problem. But what about ourselves? Do we, as black people, respect the sanctity of life of other black people? How fast, I, I don't see white people, when Jordans get released, killing black people for Jordans. I see black people killing black people for Jordans. I hear every day on the radio a rap song about a black man killing, robbing, and stealing from another black man for nothing. What? To go buy some clothes that were made by Europeans. Let's let's stop playing the blame game, people, and start being real and honest with ourselves. How many of those how many of our grandmothers, black grandmothers, would be proud of us today if they seen us running around making babies and leaving our women in the state that we leave them in? Believing in, I'm going to break the law to support my family when my family is going to have to support me when I'm in jail. Like, when are we going to wake up and recognize what we do to ourselves instead of wanting to point the finger at what other people do to us? And ours, that's what green thought is really all about. It's about first taking a look and loving yourself. Because you can't love no one else if you don't love yourself. And you can't really love yourself until you learn yourself. And part of loving and learning yourself would be some form of communication, because you can't recognize who you are until you recognize what makes you different from everyone else. But there's none of this. There is none of this. We would rather talk about foolishness, the football game, instead of talking about politics, talking about philosophical manners and religion and things that have importance and weight. We don't want to come together with people who have different views and sit down like civilized human beings and talk. What do? We fight, we kill, we shoot. Just think about, we're having situations with our government and how many people want to take up arms. But aren't we supposed to be the leaders of the free world and the most civilized people on the planet? And the most civilized people on the planet happen to like to settle their problems with guns? But that's not the question, though, is it? That's not the issue, is it? And yes, I respect a gun owner because a man should have the ability to protect himself. I'm all about the Constitution, but I'm also about the people doing what the people need to do. The people need to do the business of the people, and the people need to love one another. We need to learn what makes us unique and learn how to communicate our differences. Because if we don't, what will happen? One people will continually rule over another group of people because they don't want to come together. When you're divided, you're not united. And we are the land of sports. And tell me one sport franchise that you know that wins consistently but don't play like a team. Tell me one sports organization that can win without being unified and operating as one body. It doesn't happen. And so when will we, the people, recognize that we are Team America? Not the athletes, not the politicians, not the president, us. And we have to play as a team. We have to recognize that we're one people. Because if we don't, we'll all die together. Because when you live by the sword or the gun, you die by the sword or the gun. And that is why we, excuse me, are asking you, all the Americans out there, if you see us, you want to support us or whatever, write us. Send us an email. Send cards. And we'll take your cards, your messages to D.C. with us. We'll take your change. Because why? The pen is mightier than the sword. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to open up the doors of communication. And if we can't talk to one another, we most definitely should be able to